take an in-depth look at the rival Artemis 3000. We're going to review, range test, and chronograph test this blaster in order to bring you all the necessary data so you can make an informed decision of whether this blaster is right for you. Inside the Nerf Artemis box, you're going to find everything you see here. You get the blaster itself, the set of directions, and 30 high-impact rounds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a beautiful day outside today, so we're actually going to take the breakdown of the weapon outside. So to start off, the rival Artemis is a spring pump-action blaster that actually offers a slam fire feature. It's very simple to use. It's got two sling mounts, one here and here. The grip is very comfortable. The pump action is very smooth and very nice. Pump blaster, forward and back. And as you can see, the barrels rotate, which allow you to take the next shot. And 3 integrated magazines that hold 10 rounds each that do not come out of the blaster. It does have a trigger safety feature here, where if this button is pressed like this, the trigger you cannot depress to fire. So once you do it that way, it will fire fully. In order to load the Artemis, it's quite simple. If you'll notice over here, we have this little toggle switch. Well, what you're actually going to do is you're going to pull that down, slide this piece back, and if you notice, I'll bring it closer for you. There's 3 holes up here. You just drop 30 balls in, and then simply do this, give it a little pump, boom, you're ready to go. Very simple to operate, very simple to use. The only thing that would concern me going into the future is when these springs wear out, how do you actually replace these, since they are 10-round magazines, and I'm not sure Nerf actually has spare ones that you can buy. All right, you guys know how I run my range test nowadays. I do it from 3 different distances, 20, 30, and 40 feet, and I'll show you it coming both ways from each distance so you can judge how this thing fires and how effective it is at different ranges. So let's start at 20 feet. All shots will be aimed, trying to hit the target. When I shoot the other way at the camera, I'll be doing slam fire for all 3 distances. So quickly going over the Nerf rival Artemis's chronograph results. As you can see, we took 20 shots for testing purposes. Our high shot clocked in at 89 feet per second. The low shot clocked in at 70 feet per second. Kind of a little bit all over the place, but that's okay. That gave us a 20 shot average of 80 feet per second, which by no means was the highest in the Nerf rival line thus far, but it can hold its own. So let's move on. All right, here we go, 30 feet. I'm gonna zoom the camera in just a little bit so it doesn't look so far. 30 rounds, here we go. Okay, taking a look at the Nerf rival Artemis's cons, in my opinion, one thing I'm worried about, I wouldn't say it's a con at this exact point, but was the integrated magazines, which I happen to like, and I love the loading feature, is when the springs wear out, how do you replace them in the magazines? They're 10-round magazines, and neither the Apollo nor the Zeus actually has magazines that are that size. So I'm a little worried about how you're going to actually fix these when the spring breaks, or if you're going to actually have to replace the blaster. So that is a perceived con from me, wondering where that's going to go. Power and effectiveness beyond 20 feet was my number 2 con. Within 20 feet, this is more of like a shotgun type of weapon that has a 30-round magazine, which is actually really nice. But once you got out to 30 feet, as you saw, it was all over the place, and I was aiming shots. Then when I went to slam fire, it even got worse. So Take it for what it's worth, though. The blaster's a lot of fun. If you're playing indoors, man, this thing is a high-capacity foam ball-spitting machine. Let's move on, shall we? All right, guys, I think it was very painfully obvious that this blaster really needs to be within 20 feet to be really effective. 30, we were all over the place, so I'm going to forego the 40 feet range test. Instead, I'm going to flip the camera and show you slam fire for 15 rounds at 20 and 15 rounds at 30. One more set of shots for each distance coming at you, slam fire. Let's go. All right, let's go over the Nerf Artemis's pros. 1, the operation. I love the underneath prime and the slam fire feature. When you have those 3 things on a spring blaster, it really transforms the blaster into a fun operating weapon. We're gonna go on to loading and ammo capacity. I really like the 30 round capacity that the Artemis offers, and the loading feature is actually unique, and I kind of like it. You can slide this thing back and drop balls in, so if you're in the heat of battle and you're behind cover and there's rival rounds on the ground, you don't have to pull the magazine out of the blaster. You can just quickly slide this open, drop them in, and kind of reload on the fly, which is always a beautiful thing. And then 3, aesthetics. I really love the design and the way that they thought this blaster out as far as its aggressive style. So the fact that it is very easy to use, has a pretty unique loading mechanism, and really is a stylish looking little blaster. Kudos to you, Nerf. I kind of like what you did here. So let's get on to my overall opinion. All right, going over the overall opinion of the Nerf Artemis and my recommendation of whether or not you should pick this blaster up. Well, let's go over the 5 different categories and a 5-star rating that we have come up with. So we're going to start with cost. This blaster actually retails average for about $44.99. You can actually find it on sale under 40, about 39 bucks if you really look hard. That's about the lowest I've seen it at so far. And I'd say for that price, it's definitely worth it. Firepower. I love the 30 round capacity, so that's going to score really high marks with me, but the range beyond 30 feet and the way it performs actually drops at a point. I would have gave this a 5 for capacity and the power, but because of the fact that at the 30 feet, the spread is too much and it's just not going to be very accurate for you, I had to drop that down a point. Customization, if the magazines were interchangeable, where you could actually take a Zeus magazine and put it in here to give you a little bit more ammo, I would probably be rated customization a little bit higher. It only has 1 tactical rail, which you can put the rival scope up on, and that looks great, so don't get me wrong. But the fact that these magazines don't come out, that kind of worries me. So I have to drop that down a little bit, probably a little bit lower than some of you might put it at, but I'm pretty tough when I go and rate these in my own opinion. Easy use, give it a 5, hands down. Simple to use, a lot of fun. And then the quality, I really, really like the quality, the lines, the look, everything about this blaster. The only thing that worries me and why I dropped it a point was because of the integrated magazines. So overall, that's going to give us a score of a 3.7, which some of you may rank a little bit higher. I would recommend it to definitely be a buy. The chrono rank came in at 80 feet per second, just a reminder. So that will do it for my opinion of the Nerf Rival Artemis. So if you enjoyed this review, please do me a favor and hit the like button. And if this is your first time to my channel and the first video you're seeing of mine, why not subscribe so you get all the details and all the information you need to make an educated decision on purchasing your blasters and you don't waste your money. So, from our family to yours,